Alright, so you saw the title. In today's episode, I'm going to be showcasing you guys every single knife from the shop in Knife Ability Test. We're going to be focusing on the ones that are currently available, but I will also showcase some of the ones that are no longer available, so this video might be quite interesting for some of you guys. I will try to get a kill with each of these knives so you can see the kill effect. Might be quite cool, so let's just start today's episode. Timestamps will be in the description down below as always, so feel free to skip ahead if you're looking for a specific knife. And the first one we have is going to be the default knife or stock knife, so let's start with that one. Alright, so first knife, the default knife, unlocked at level 0. This one does not have a special kill effect and is pretty basic to be honest, so let's move on to the next one. Next two knives we have are the Love Struck and the Short Circuit, both unlocked at level 2. This one spawns some hearts around the person that you get with it, so very nice to be honest, very wholesome. And the Short Circuit, on the other hand, electrocutes people and just kind of shocks them around, which is quite interesting to say the least. As you can see, that's the kill effect for the Short Circuit, quite funny. Let's move on to the next knife. Next one we have is the Bone Knife. This one is no longer obtainable. It was released during Halloween of 2019 for 25 gems and turns people into skeletons and is pretty cool to be honest, but this one, like I said, is no longer obtainable and is nowadays worth a lot more than 25 gems. Next up we have the Traffic Knife, or whatever it's called. I renamed mine to Broom because I thought that was very hilarious, and this one is unlocked at level 3. This one pretty much just crashes into people and punches them very far away, which I think is a very nice knife, and it also has some very nice sounds. So yeah, there you can see this is the Traffic Knife or Room Knife as I like to call it, so pretty hilarious. And that one flew very far. So the next knife we have is going to be the Snake Attack. This one is also unlocked at level 3 and it's pretty funny. It is kind of similar to the Short Circuit, just a lot more extreme I would say. It like actually wiggles people around quite a lot, so very interesting knife to say the least, and there you go, that's pretty much what that one does. As you can see, this one is pretty aggressive. Pretty funny knife once again. The next three knives we have are the Knockout, the Venomshank, and the Cuthead, so let's take a look at this one. The Knockout does exactly what the name suggests. It knocks people out and punches them very far away, so hopefully I can showcase that. There you go. So that's what the Knockout does. Next up we have the Venomshank. This one turns people into zombies, and it's once again I think based on a normal Roblox knife, so pretty cool to be honest. Let's see, can we maybe get a kill? Would be very nice. I'm not sure where this guy just went. Kind of bizarre. There we have someone, and there you go. We turned him into a zombie. There you go, another person, and another person. Lots of zombies. And last one is the Cuthead. This one has no special kill effect, but it's still quite nice to be honest, since it has some interesting sounds. So the next knife we have is going to be the Link Knife. This one has no special kill effect, but is still quite nice and actually one of my favorite knives. It is pretty cool to be honest overall. I kind of like the sound. Some people might say this is one of the more annoying knives in the game, but I would say it is pretty cool. Next up we have the first sword on this list, the Claymore, which is unlocked at level 8. This one is pretty cool to be honest, so let's see what this one can do. So yeah, you can no longer throw this knife, so definitely just keep that in mind. This is one of those that cannot be used with abilities, but you can still get people with this one, or maybe not. So yeah, I'm definitely not the biggest fan of these swords because you can actually stab people and also get the same amount of gems that you get with this one. You get 3 gems if you kill someone with these swords, so quite interesting, and if you just knife them you also get 3 gems, so I don't really see too much purpose in most of these, but there will be an exception later on. Next up we have the Troll Knife and the Skittles Knife. I think both of these are pretty amazing. As you can see, the Troll Knife just spawns a bunch of knives, and the Skittles Knife does pretty much the same. It just spawns a lot of Skittles, or lots of different cubes. As you can see, it's not really Skittles, it's just differently colored cubes to be honest. It's still quite a nice knife overall. And next up we have the Ice Knife. This one is unlocked at level 12, which is pretty cool to be honest, and it turns people into ice, as you can see right here. There we go, and there we go, and the knife actually is kind of translucent, so really amazing knife to be honest. Unlocked at level 15 we have the Noob Knife, which turns people into noobs. Pretty self-explanatory, but still a very cool knife to be honest. And there we go, as you can see, it turned a person into a noob. Next up we have the Explosive Knife, which is unlocked at level 16, and as the name suggests, this one actually explodes people, which I think is kind of cool. There you go, very nice knife. The next one we have is the Meltdown, unlocked at level 18, and well, this one is just a quote-unquote meltdown and turns people into radioactive materials, so overall a very interesting knife to say the least, and yeah, that's how this one looks like. Also, they have a very interesting glow to them. The next one we have is the Bloody Knife, unlocked at level 20, and this one turns people into, well, blood, as the name might have suggested. There you go, lots of blood cubes, and also once again quite a cool knife to be honest. Unlocked at level 20. Unlocked at level 22 we have the Duck Knife. This one is pretty amazing. It turns people into ducks, but it actually has a special effect which you might have not seen so far. Every now and then you get actually the special one where you spawn a lot of ducks, so let's see if we actually get the special effect. Would be very nice. And there we go, that was the special effect. As you can see, it just spawns a lot of ducks and it's pretty amazing. Next up, we have the Conspiracy unlocked at level 25, and this one turns people into a triangle. Pretty certain some people might get this joke, so very nice knife. And this one, yeah, like I said, turns people into a triangle. Unlocked at level 28, we have the Doge Knife, which turns people into a Doge. Very hilarious one. Let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have the Wrench unlocked at level 30. This one's kind of cool, to be honest. Has, I believe, no special effects, but I believe it might actually have some special sounds, so that's quite nice. There you go, very nice. Next one we have is the Butterfly Knife unlocked at level 35. Really cool one, to be honest. Has some very nice animations, as you can see right there. Also has a very cool inspect animation, so really great knife overall. At level 38, I believe we have the same knife, just with a different texture, which is kind of cool. So yeah, the Duality right here. Very nice one. So as you can see, has the same effects and I believe also the same kill effect, so very interesting. Next knife we have is going to be the Energy Knife unlocked at level 40. This one's pretty amazing, to be honest. Quite a huge fan of this one. It turns people into... well, this right there, I think that is pretty amazing. So some kind of like energy, I guess. And overall, it's just a pretty cool knife with some very nice sounds and effects. Next up, we have this one right here unlocked at level 45. I'm not even going to try to pronounce its name, but this one's actually quite special. It is one of the more special swords. I believe the more kills you get with this one, the faster you get. So each time you get a kill, you actually get more speed, more movement speed, which is really amazing, to be honest. And also, as you can see, this one has some special kill effects, which I think is very amazing. Next up, we have the Shovel, which is also no longer available. It is also actually one of the quote-unquote swords. Was available for 50 gems. This one is actually worth a lot more nowadays, so definitely keep that in mind. Has some pretty cool effects, to be honest, and some very nice sounds. Really nice melee, but once again, it's just one of those swords, and I'm not personally the biggest fan of them. The only way you can actually throw these, like I've mentioned probably earlier, is by using the Admin Knife, and that one isn't too easy to find, so quite interesting. Next one we have is going to be the Tom Knife, unlocked at level 60, and we're slowly getting away from the knives that you can actually unlock with the level. So yeah, we're soon going to be reaching the knives that you will actually have to buy with gems, which I think is quite interesting, and this one turns people into Tom, so one of the characters, I believe, from Mad Games, or in general from Lolaris games, so very nice, to be honest. The next knife we have is going to be the Icy Tea Knife. This is the first knife that you can actually buy with gems, priced at 45 gems. Not sure if this one's still in the game, if some of these knives might not be in the game. Apologies, I'm not fully aware of that, because if you own a knife, it will be shown, of course, in the shop, if it was from the shop, so just keep that in mind. If some of these knives might not be available, feel free to leave that in the comments down below. So yeah, this one turns people into ICT, which is kind of nice, and also has some pretty cool sounds, to be honest, so overall, a very amazing knife, I would say. Next up, we have the Robux Knife, priced at 100 gems. This one turns people into Robux, as the name might have suggested or given away. And yeah, that's pretty much all this one does. I think it's kind of funny. So let's move on to the next one. Next one, we have the Rune Dagger, priced at 145 gems. This one's pretty cool, to be honest. Has some very nice effects, and overall, it's just a very cool knife. As you can see like a damage indicator, and also I would say like a health bar or something like that. At least that's how I understood this knife. So overall, pretty cool knife, to be honest. Next up, we have the Tombstoner 2019. This is also one of the knives that is no longer available, and it spawns a tombstone on the people that you kill with it. So overall, a pretty cool knife. Quite a huge fan of this one, and this one is also no longer worth 200 gems, of course. It is nowadays worth a lot more than that. Next one we have is going to be the Invisible Knife, priced at 400 gems. This one turns people invisible, as the name might have suggested once again, so a lot of the times I believe you can just easily find out what the knife is going to do by just looking at the name, which is pretty interesting. The next one we have is going to be the Particle Knife, turns people into particles, priced at 500 gems, so that's how this one's going to look like. Very nice, pretty cool one, to be honest. Next up we have the Hell Knife, priced at 666 gems, very nice there. It has pretty much the same effect as the Energy Knife, just in a red color, so pretty interesting knife overall. Next one we have is the Sanic Knife. This one is also once again considered by some people as one of the most annoying knives, because it can be annoying. It says you're too slow when you get someone, so it might be a little bit annoying, and it also turns people into the Sonic rings, so a very amazing knife, to be honest. Next one we have is the Dearest Gratitude. This one is a little bit similar to the Ice Knife, of course. It turns people into gold, so pretty amazing knife. Quite a huge fan of this one. This one costs 1000 gems, so keep that in mind. A little bit more pricey now, but yeah, it's still a pretty amazing knife overall, and I'm quite a huge fan of this one. Next one we have is going to be the Golden Wrench, priced at 1000 gems, and I believe this one actually does something similar, if not the same thing that, of course, the Dearest Gratitude does, so let's take a look at this one. So yeah, this one does exactly the same thing as the Dearest Gratitude, so quite nice, pretty amazing knife overall, and let's see, can we also get this guy? There we go. So yeah, as you can see, it does the same thing as the Dearest Gratitude, which I think is pretty amazing. Overall, a very nice knife, also priced at 1000 gems, so I guess you can decide which one you might like more. Next one we have is going to be the Real Knife, unlocked at level 100. This one is kind of cool, to be honest. I kind of like this one personally. And let's take a look at this one right here. This one can be a little bit annoying, but pretty much what it does, it just has some numbers there, I think, but I'm not really sure, to be honest. I'm not sure what this is supposed to resemble, but it's just kind of nice. Next up, we have the Crescendo, priced at 3,500 gems. This one is pretty amazing, to be honest. It used to be a lot more affordable back in the days, but actually recently it was increased twice in price, so I guess kind of bizarre, but this one has a very cool effect, to be honest, as you can see right there. Next up, we have the Chaos Knife. This one is actually really amazing as it has a lot of different effects within itself, so once you get a kill, the effect is always going to be kind of different, and this one has, I believe, like 10, 20, 30 different effects. Some of these are even from special knives like the piano breakers in these ones, which I think is really amazing, and in general this one is kind of cool, to be honest. If you want to buy this one, I can kind of recommend it. It is very pricey at its price of 8,500 gems now, but it has a lot of cool effects, so it might actually be worth it, to be honest. Also, if you collect gems anyways and you have a ton of gems, I think it's not that bad if you spend them on this. Next up, the ban hammer. This one's kind of interesting. It says if you kill someone, banned, so yeah, kind of funny, I guess, and this one just explodes people, so very interesting. Also very expensive. I would probably prefer the Chaos Knife, to be honest, as that one has a lot more cool effects, and I'm personally not the biggest fan of the ban hammer. Next one we have is the Reaper Knife, originally priced at 1,000 gems, and this one was released also during Halloween of 2019. Turns people into pretty much the same thing as the Energy Knife, but I'm actually quite a huge fan of this knife, basically because it has a very cool design and just looks really amazing, to be honest. And now we have the Robux Knife. So first one is the 1000 degree knife, priced at 25 Robux. This one burns people and then breaks them into tiny cubes, which I think is overall quite interesting, so very nice knife. And last but not least, of course, these are the final knives. We have the Rainbow Shard, so from the Shard Game Pass. This one is no longer available. We have the Arrow Knife, which used to be 404 gems and was taken off sale, I believe, and now is 404,000 gems. And then we have the MLG Knife Game Pass, and of course the VIP Knife Game Pass. So let's take a look at all of those. So first knife, Arrow Knife. This one turns people into this arrow thing, so very nice, to be honest. So next up we have the shard knives. The first one we have is the Amethyst Shard. This one turns people into, well, amethyst shards. The next one we have is the diamond one. This one turns people into diamond shards. There you go. Next one we have is the Emerald Shard Knife, and once again, as the name suggests, this one turns people into emerald shards, which I think is quite nice. There you go. So next up we have the Ruby Shard Knife, which turns people into rubies, as you can see. Pretty cool, to be honest. And the last one we have is going to be the Rainbow Shard Knife. It turns people into keeps from pretty much all of the other shard knives, which I think is very nice. As you can see, pretty cool, to be honest. Also, there's a yellow shard in here, so not really sure where that one is coming from, but you can see the other ones. We also have the Australium Knife, which is from the VIP Game Pass. This one is pretty cool, to be honest. One of my favorite knives. It's quite similar to the Energy Knife, the Scythe, or also some other ones. As you can see, it turns people into this, which is pretty cool, to be honest. And as you can see, it also works, of course, with the disrespect mechanic, which is very nice. And last but not least, of course, we have the MLG Knife, which is once again considered by some people as one of the more annoying knives because of its sounds, but overall a very interesting knife, just explodes people and is pretty interesting. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching today's episode. Really hope this was helpful. Hopefully you were able to find the knives that you were searching for. Thanks for watching, like I said, and I will see you, of course, in the next video. Bye, guys.